Corruption by the Chaos God Khorne is difficult to anticipate for most Space Marine warriors. After all, they are angels of death, and spilling blood and taking lives is necessary in order to fulfill the will of the Emperor. Khorne covets Space Marines for this very reason. Perfectly engineered killing machines, they become targets by the god of slaughter and rage. This most famously happened to the now Chaos Lord of the Crimson Slaughter's warband, Kranon the Relentless. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about Kranon the Relentless. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day, so if you have any questions or suggestions for video topics, comment down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to get more, and if you enjoy our content, hit the like button, share with your friends, and we have a Patreon. Link in the description if you guys want to support us on Patreon. It's only $1 a month. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts on Kranon the Relentless. Before he was Kranon the Relentless, the Chaos Lord was a loyalist Astartes named Sevastus Kranon. Kranon's superb military mind elevated him to the position of chapter master of the Crimson Saber Space Marine chapter. Under his command, the chapter won great accolades, crushing whole worlds in the name of the Emperor. However, his brutal manner earned the Crimson Sabers a dark reputation in the bordered Imperium. His savagery would lead to the eventual excommunication of the Crimson Sabers, and it all began on the jungle world of Umidia, where the chapter conducted a genocide purge of the Balthu cults. Subsequent interrogation of the captured Crimson Sabers revealed that the Chaos cult of the planet were in the process of summoning a demon of Khorne, and in their rush of judgment, the Crimson Sabers purged the entire planet of life, men, women, and children. As an act of revenge or possibly reward for the bloody annihilation of his followers, Khorne cursed the Crimson Sabers to be haunted by the voices of all those that they had just slain. The entire chapter was literally haunted by the butchery of their action. Poltergeist activity surrounded the Crimson Sabers wherever they went, and it became known as the mysterious Balthu. Whenever a Space Marine closed his eyes, he would see the faces of those he had killed, and hear their screams in his mind. Sleep became impossible, and slowly at first, a pall of paranoid insanity spread throughout the chapter like a disease. This led the Crimson Sabers to being declared renegades by the Inquisition and the High Lords of Terra, due to the signs of continued psychological instability that the Astartes of the chapter displayed, and to add to that, their continued overzealous persecutions of their campaigns. In an attempt to burn away the harrowing memories in the fires of war, Chapter Master Kranon declared the neighboring world of Demetra tainted by the proximity of Umidia, and the killing began anew. The desperate plan worked, for the specters of Balthu were drowned out by the series of gore-drenched battles. Subsequent bloodshed could silence the voices, but only for a short time. Kranon then led his warriors into the Eye of Terror to slaughter traitors instead of spilling the blood of Imperial innocents, thereby gaining a temporary respite. Self-exiled into the Eye of Terror, the Crimson Sabers were blessed with many gifts by the ruinous powers to further their combat prowess. They were finally fully corrupted by chaos and remade themselves as the warband of the Chaos Space Marines called the Crimson Slaughter. Sevastus Kranon was reborn as the Chaos Lord and Champion of Khorne named Kranon the Relentless. Here he learned of the mysterious chaotic artifact known as the Hellfire Stone, an altar dedicated to Khorne that could forever free his Astartes from the curse and silence the voices in their head once and for all. It was said that once this artifact was anointed with the blood of a Space Marine, the Hellfire Stone would open a doorway into the warp and allow a powerful demon to pass through into real space. Joining forces with warbands drawn from the traitor legions during the 13th Black Crusade, Kranon and the Crimson Slaughter began their rampage across multiple Imperial worlds in a relentless search for the Hellfire Stone. Carving a bloody swath across a dozen or more populated worlds that dotted the southern rim of the galaxy, the Crimson Slaughter overwhelmed Imperial garrisons and slaughtered whole populations before vanishing back into the warp. Although their rebellion against the Imperium had been well documented, if subsequently suppressed by the order of the Inquisition, the remote nature of the planets they attacked meant that by the time the distress call was answered, the Crimson Slaughter had long departed. This remained true until the Crimson Slaughter made the mistake of engaging the Dark Angel's 5th Company in a battle upon the world of Stern's remembrance, slaying many battle brothers, including the 5th Company's master. Such an act of violence earned the undying wrath of the Dark Angels and the newly ascended 5th Company master, Balthazar, who swore to hunt down those responsible for his predecessor's death and bring their heads back to the Rock, the spaceborne fortress monastery of the Dark Angels. The 5th Company was also accompanied in their task by members of the Dark Angels' elite 1st Company, the Deathwing, members of the 2nd Company, the Ravenwing, and a powerful librarian named Termail, who had been trained by Ezekiel, the chief librarians of the Dark Angels. Eventually, Kranon the Relentless finally found the Hellfire Stone on the world of Bane's Landing. Unfortunately, he was confronted by the Dark Angels' Fifth Company. Kranon intended to use the Hellfire Stone to summon forth his demonic masters and usher in a new age of darkness. During the battle that followed, he claimed the lives of several Dark Angels and took the Ravenwing Sergeant Arion prisoner for use in rituals. However, Arion's suicide thwarted his plan, and he was forced to retreat. Luckily, Balthazar did manage to corner Kranon, and a great battle was fought between the two, but the Chaos Lord was able to teleport away. The Hellfire Stone disappeared from the planet and would not reappear for another 40 years. Following this battle, Kranon would suspect that he and his chapter were being used by an unknown power. This power turned out to be one of Tzeentch's Lord of Change, who had been possessing the body of the former chief librarian Manon. Kranon would pursue Manon deep into the Eye of Terror to a world called Maimadrax. There he would cut the demon's arm off before it retreated yet again. Still being pursued by the Dark Angels, Librarian Tourmail would predict that over the course of the next 3 years, Kranon would join forces with much more powerful Chaos Lords and would be cornered on a moon in Tau space. The vision predicted that a combined effort of the Dark Angels and the Space Wolves would lead to a third battle between Balthazar and Kranon. Kranon would eventually meet his end, and his head would be decapitated, taken back to the battle barge Angel of Retribution by Balthazar in an iron box. And yet it is unknown if this vision is true. The last we knew of Kranon was during the Daimor campaign and during the attack on Cadia during the 13th Black Crusade. And those were 40 facts on Kranon the Relentless. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to revisit this topic just because I want to talk about the Crimson Slaughter. If you guys don't want to wait for me to post a 40 facts video on it, we already have an older one. It's actually a 3-part series, so check that out. Also, if you're interested in Khorne and how Khorne basically manipulates Space Marines once they become devoted to them, you should check out our Horrible Realities of a Khornate Berserker. I'll put a link up above. It's actually pretty sad, especially Khorne, the way he kind of like seeps into the mind of a Space Marine or pretty much any follower of Khorne, and then just turns him into a anxiety-driven monster, and it's terrifying. If you guys have any suggestions for any other topics, please comment down below. If you guys have any questions, ask away. And thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first.